Tonight, decades waiting for a Canadian champion suddenly over with an astounding putt.
Good pace. Are you serious?
Nick Taylor beats the nerves and the odds to win the Canadian Open. A story of survival that's amazed the world.
You really have to know what you're doing to survive the Amazon.
4 little children alone for 40 days, now safe. Dramatic scenes of escape, an Alberta community under wildfire threat again.
There was so much ash coming down. It honestly looked like it was snowing.
This is The National with Ian Henemansing.
What a finish. It took him a few extra holes, definitely tested his nerves, but in the end, Nick Taylor succeeded where so many have fallen short, becoming the first Canadian winner of the Men's Canadian Open in decades. The winning shot to finish off that long wait, the longest putt of Taylor's professional career, and what a time to sink it. Philip Lee Shannock shows us the ecstatic reaction of fans to this storybook ending.
Oh my goodness! Glorious and free!
A nearly 70-year wait suddenly over with an incredible 70-foot putt.
And to get it there was obviously a bit of a surprise, honestly.
Nick Taylor is the first Canadian to win the Canadian Open since 1954, an accomplishment he accepted with modesty.
There's a lot of luck for that to go in the hole.
But the home country crowd and Taylor himself had to work hard for it. In true Canadian fashion, it came down to a sudden death playoff. Not just one hole, but 4. Taylor head-to-head against Englishman Tommy Fleetwood. Taylor's victory all the more remarkable for how this tournament started. Over par in the first round. Boy, did he turn it around, including shooting a course record on Saturday. The fans spurring him on through the back 9. But even then, he needed to birdie the final 2 holes just to get into the playoff. Fighting the elements and the nerves, he matched the result of Pat Fletcher 69 years ago. David Hearn came close 7 years ago. And Mike Weir did too in 2004, losing a heartbreaker to Vijay Singh, also in a playoff. Taylor tipped his hat to the player who inspired him to go pro.
I look up to Mike Weir, and if kids say the same thing about me, that's the biggest compliment I probably could ever get.
But today, as skies darkened and the rain fell, this time a Canadian came out on top after making the longest putt of his career, making history as national champion of his National Open. Philip Lee Shannock, CBC News, Toronto.
Now to an incredible story of resilience. 4 children survived a plane crash and spent weeks wandering the Amazon, and they're beginning to share their story. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson shows us how they were able to live under the most dangerous of conditions and the heartbreaking sacrifice they had to endure along the way.
It's a reunion many feared would never happen. The father of 2 of the 4 siblings who went missing in the Amazon more than 40 days ago, seeing them alive and recovering in a hospital. The first thing I did was talk to the 13-year-old girl. It is not easy to ask them because the children did not eat well for 40 days. The disappearance of the children, aged 13, 9, 4, and 11 months, gripped Colombia. They were flying in a small propeller plane that crashed in the jungle. The pilot and another relative were killed. The children's father now revealing the mother survived for 4 days before telling her children to go on without her and succumbing to her injuries. What ensued was a massive search. Helicopters dropping off packets of food and broadcasting a message from the kids' grandmother telling them to stay in one spot. The Colombian military worked alongside indigenous searchers to find the kids, lost in one of the most dangerous terrains on Earth.
You're being eaten alive by insects nonstop in a way that most Canadians could never even imagine. There's a lot of snakes, and many of the snake species are poisonous.
Family says the kids lived off some tapioca flour they had on the plane, then turned to berries and seeds in the forest. A testament that their indigenous knowledge saved their lives, says this Canadian expert who just came back from the Amazon.
So, for example, yes, there's fruit on every tree, and the amount of it that's toxic and even poisonous is phenomenally high. You really have to know what you're doing to survive the Amazon.
We're learning more about the circumstances surrounding the kids' disappearance. Their father told reporters he fled his hometown because he was threatened by one of Colombia's rebel groups. His wife and children were en route to join him when their plane crashed. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
Let's turn now to the ongoing wildfire situation here in Canada. For the second time in just weeks, residents in and around Edson, Alberta, have fled their homes, desperately hoping the nearby fire stays out too. It is burning dangerously close and out of control. Edson is located to the west of Edmonton and now just barely north of the wildfire's ever-expanding perimeter. The shaded area you see here, it is now only about 2 kilometers away. That fire is huge, and so is the impact it's having on people's lives. Julia Wong spoke to some evacuees today about how they're coping.
As a wildfire burned close in Yellowhead County, Jody Michaud had a sinking feeling of déjà vu. This is the second time in 6 weeks she and her family fled their home in Edson.
Worried, nervous, trying to figure out what to do, what all to get.
Edson and surrounding communities were evacuated for several days in May because of the same wildfire. Residents were let back, but then the fire flared up. Marianne Bittner also fled with her son, husband, and 2 dogs.
It honestly looked like it was snowing. There was so much ash coming down, and it was pretty scary. I started worrying, I started crying a little bit.
That fear, like for Michaud, all too familiar.
It's uncomfortable, it's unsettling, it's a little scary. You don't know if you're going to be going back to your home.
Crews are going into overdrive to tame the flames, building new containment lines after the fire burned through the old ones. More than 200 firefighters, including from Australia, South Africa, and the United States, working on this blaze alone.
We're so thankful that they're coming to our aid. These are unprecedented times. We've never seen anything like this decade.
These fires are on our doorstep, and they will and have the ability to be a significant danger in a matter of minutes.
As for Michaud, she's trying her best to stay on top of what's happening, but knows she has little power over what happens next.
It's literally just a wait-and-see game now.
Julie, we know when it comes to wildfires, weather is critical. What's in the forecast?
So tomorrow temperatures will rise again and the humidity will drop, and that is not good news for firefighters. This wildfire is holding where it's at in relation to the town, but there's concern it could be on the move again. So that's why this roadblock you see behind me is as close as anyone is going to get. Alberta Wildfire says it isn't expecting very strong winds tomorrow, but this wildfire season has been very unpredictable and they are not taking any chances.
All right, thank you. And more evacuation orders went out in BC this weekend as wildfires continue to threaten homes and a major highway on Vancouver Island. Yvette Brennan shows us the race to protect and connect communities.
Crews scramble to douse these empty homes in Tumbler Ridge with water as flames lick the sky only 4 kilometers away.
Yesterday was the first day with those winds pushing away from the area that crews were really able to get in, start establishing containment lines using hand guards. So that's where they go in with hand tools and remove available fuels.
More than 2,000 people have been forced from their homes there. Now additional evacuations are happening in a remote area north of Fort Nelson. Already, BC has seen more than 400 fires this spring.
By this time last year, we were looking at just over 150 total wildfires. And that's total, not just the ones currently burning.
More than 650,000 hectares of the province has already burned. A Dawson Creek daycare owner is trying to help evacuees, offering free care.
At least here they can come, they can play, they can eat, they can be little again without having to worry about everything else. So that was really my ultimate goal, was just to give everybody a bit of a breather.
On Vancouver Island, another fire has closed Highway 4, cutting off several communities, including Tofino. The province is running in supply convoys via a gravel logging road. Ryan Rattan was one of the last to drive the highway to get to a doctor's appointment.
It's terrifying. So I got a really good dose of how fast these things change and grow, and huge new respect for firefighters, like what they're up against. is awful.
Back near Tumbler Ridge, evacuees Keith Bertrand and his daughter Kira wait at the mercy of the wind.
Yesterday was much better for the nerves, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And now with the weather change and the wind change, we're looking very hopeful now. So.
And yearn to go back home. Yvette Brent, CBC News, Vancouver.
There is good news tonight for some Quebec residents forced from their homes by a wildfire. Most of the more than 7,000 people who fled the central Quebec community of Chibougamau will be allowed to go home on Monday. The fire burning nearby is one of 38 prioritized by the province. It says firefighters are now on the offensive thanks to help from reinforcements. Nova Scotia's largest ever wildfire remains out of control, but it's no longer spreading. The Barrington Lake Fire in Shelburne County is being fought by about 140 firefighters, including some from Newfoundland and Labrador, the U.S., and the Canadian military. There are signs tonight we may be inching towards a public inquiry into foreign interference in elections, something the opposition has been demanding for weeks. Kate McKenna explains what's next.
The Trudeau government opened the door to a public inquiry. Now the Conservative leader is walking right through it.
Well, it's what we've been asking for months now. Trudeau should have called this half a year ago.
Pierre Poilievre says he'll cooperate, but only if it leads to an inquiry led by someone they helped choose.
And I will work with our opposition colleagues to make sure that the person who fills that role is independent and unbiased.
That same sentiment is being echoed by the NDP.
It's absolutely crucial now that we sit down, we get a consensus among the recognized parties.
The government hasn't officially called a public inquiry, but now Ottawa says it's on the table.
Maybe if we agree on the terms of reference of such a public process, call it a public inquiry, then maybe we'll be able to identify the kind of person or persons that could lead that exercise.
The House called on the government to launch a public inquiry.
The calls for an inquiry are deafening. The House of Commons voted for it multiple times. But a public inquiry wasn't something David Johnston recommended.
There should not and need not be a separate formal public inquiry.
The Prime Minister had asked the former Governor General to review the allegations of foreign interference in Canada. He resigned Friday after a months-long political thrashing. Opposition parties said his long-standing ties to the Trudeau family made him the wrong person for the job.
Well, I think this has taken far too long.
Former CSIS Director Dick Fadden says the government needs to act on this file now.
Fundamentally, we have done nothing substantive about it in all of these months.
All parties say moving forward with this issue is a priority. They plan to hammer out a path forward this week. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Ottawa.
The Conservative leader also said today the party will introduce a bill to keep mass murderers in maximum security.
This is a common sense change. Is part of our agenda to bring home safety for all Canadians. And we encourage the government to pass this Conservative bill without delay, with unanimous consent, to reverse this outrageous decision.
This follows public outrage after the transfer of serial rapist and killer Paul Bernardo to this medium security facility in Quebec late last month. Pierre Poilievre made the announcement alongside 3 friends of Kristen French, one of the women Bernardo tortured and killed. The Prime Minister is back in Canada tonight after a surprise trip to Ukraine. Justin Trudeau announced new military funding for the country as Ukraine's counteroffensive gets underway. Margaret Evans is in Kyiv tonight.
Raising money for Ukraine's frontline soldiers in Kyiv. A rustling wind seeming to carry with it talk of the long-promised counteroffensive. These pictures were released by a brigade in eastern Ukraine, claiming to have retaken a town called Blahodatne from Russian-occupied territory, the first fruits of the counteroffensive, according to a local commander. The Kremlin also says Ukraine's counteroffensive has begun, and that this is what Russian air power is doing to the tanks Western nations are giving to Ukraine. It also released these images of what it says is a Russian ship repelling a Ukrainian unmanned boat attack in the Black Sea. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is deliberately vague about counterattacks. There are counteroffensive moves and defensive moves, he's saying, and I'm not going to comment on any of them. That was at a press conference with Canada's Prime Minister on Saturday. Justin Trudeau unveiling another military aid package for Ukraine and touring a mental health facility for veterans with Ukraine's First Lady, Olena Zelenska. He also spoke to Ukrainian MPs.
The world cannot overstate the existential importance of your fight.
He was even better than I expected.
MP Andriy Osadchik says Canada's pledge to stand with Ukraine until it wins the war is a comfort.
We have daily losses in soldiers, officers, and equipment. The amount of ammunition which we consume daily is huge.
But faith in Ukraine's victory here is ever present, and it comes in all sizes. Ukraine is now saying it's reclaimed 3 villages in the east. We can't confirm that, but analysts say Ukrainian soldiers will now be testing Russian defenses. Margaret Evans, CBC News, Kyiv.
Former U.S. President Donald Trump is back on the campaign trail this weekend, his first stops since his second indictment. Trump faces 37 federal charges over his handling of classified documents. Katie Simpson is in Miami, where they're already bracing for his first court appearance on Tuesday.
All around the federal courthouse in downtown Miami, there are signs something significant is about to take place. Local police are working with national security agencies preparing for protests and the safety concerns that come with a high-profile court date. This latest indictment isn't keeping Donald Trump from the campaign trail. He held 2 rallies this weekend, railing against the charges.
The ridiculous and baseless indictment of me by the Biden administration's weaponized Department of Injustice will go down as among the most horrific abuses of power in the history of our country.
Some former allies of the former president see things differently.
I was shocked by the degree of sensitivity of these documents and how many there were, frankly.
On Fox News, the man who served as Trump's attorney general delivered a scathing assessment of the indictment.
If even half of it is true, then he's toast. I mean, it's a very detailed indictment, and it's very, very damning.
Trump is facing 37 federal charges for his alleged handling of classified documents and allegedly refusing to return sensitive materials from his Mar-a-Lago estate. About an hour's drive south along the Florida coast, some Republicans are coming to Trump's defense.
I also don't think that if he was running for president that they would be charging him right now.
Why not?
Because I don't think what he did was a very serious crime. I don't.
The vice chair of the Republican Party of Miami is not satisfied with the evidence and agrees with Trump's narrative, claiming this is politically motivated.
It's basically misfiled paperwork. And for that, you're going to lock up a candidate for president right before an election? No.
Katie, you covered the first indictment in New York City. How might this one compare?
Well, when Trump entered the courthouse in New York, an agreement had been reached ahead of time. He did not have to wear handcuffs and no mug shot was snapped. That is expected to be the same situation here in Miami. Outside of the court, we saw a few hundred protesters, and it was a circus-like atmosphere. People were wearing costumes. They did performance art. Now, it wasn't exactly a large crowd, though. There were moments where there were fewer protesters than there were journalists actually covering the event. Here, it might be a different situation. This is Trump country. This is Republican territory, so we might see a stronger showing of support for Donald Trump on Tuesday.
All right, Katie, thank you. Scotland's former First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, is back in her home tonight after being arrested by police and questioned about party finances. She attended a pre-arranged interview with detectives and then she was released without charge, though the system does allow for charges to be laid later. In a statement, Sturgeon said, "To find myself in the situation I did today, when I'm certain I've committed no offense, is both a shock and deeply distressing." Police have been investigating what happened to more than $1 million in donations to her Scottish National Party. The dramatic collapse of a major U.S. highway now means months of traffic headaches in Pennsylvania and beyond. That fire from a tanker truck below weakened a section of the I-95 and led to this incredible scene of destruction. No injuries have been confirmed, but late in the day, first responders were still trying to reach the tanker truck and whoever might be inside. 3 British nationals are missing tonight after their tour boat caught fire off the coast of Egypt. The boat was carrying a total of 29 people, including crew, some of them forced to jump overboard just to get to safety before the flames triggered an explosion. An investigation into the cause of the fire is still underway. It's believed, though, to have started in the engine room before spreading in a matter of minutes. Canadians heard the name Maggie Mac Neil a lot during the Tokyo Olympics and saw her often on the podium.
Tell me the Maggie Mac Neil story, first in the pool when you first knew that you were fast.
A poolside chat with homegrown superstar Maggie Mac Neil as she sets her sights on Paris 2024. And later.
I'm excited for what's going to come next in my academic journey.
The 12-year-old Canadian who's in a class of her own. We're back in 2. It's been 15 years since the federal government apologized to Indigenous people for the government's role in residential schools. Governor General Mary Simon saying today no Canadian should be left unaware of what happened to Indigenous peoples at residential schools. Only through the truth and through knowledge can we move forward. 14 First Nations in Yukon are seeking that truth, beginning their search for unmarked graves on the site of a former residential school. It once housed more than 800 children. Juanita Taylor takes us there.
There's a sense of tranquility here, where decades before children once played while attending the Chutla Indian Residential School in Carcross. Some never made it home.
Well, of course, I'm thinking about my brother and, you know, how he might have run around here before he got sick.
Weber says her brother Albert died at the age of 5 while attending the school, years before she was even born.
My mother didn't know about it until time for kids to come home, and he wasn't with them.
But where he is buried is still unknown, leaving Weber and many other families from northern British Columbia, the Northwest Territories, and Yukon wanting answers.
The time is here.
Now, the long-awaited search using ground-penetrating radar is underway. They're collecting data from a number of areas around the former school.
We all need closure, right? We know that. So there's going to be a lot of different emotions that are going to happen as we proceed.
Thank you, Creator, finally. We're doing something about this.
Harold Gattensby, a former student, lives near the site where the school was demolished. He says his neighbors can feel the presence of the missing children.
That those little children that went missing want to be acknowledged and recognized. They want to be acknowledged.
There is one thing left from the demolition, a chunk of concrete from the stairs.
I did a painting of a child who attended residential school.
Gattensby's daughter changed it from an eyesore to a symbol of honor.
I'll be praying over the next few days while they do this work here, but I am glad that they're doing the work.
I really feel good because we're going to find answers, maybe not for me, but for others as well. Yeah.
The Truth and Reconciliation Commission says 20 students never made it home from the Chutla Residential School. Researchers working with the First Nations say they have discovered more than 60 children who died at the school. That number will grow. Results from the ground-penetrating radar are expected this fall. 3 other former residential school sites in the Yukon will be searched at a later date. Juanita Taylor, CBC News, Carcross, Yukon.
If you need support, you can call the Indian Residential School Crisis Line. It's available 24 hours a day at 1-866-925-4419. Still ahead, students across Canada are starting to accept offers for colleges and universities, but where are they going to live?
This was my last resort. It was either this or couch surfing.
Outrageous rents and shocking conditions.
Some of places had bed bugs.
And you can literally see insects flying through the, kitchen sink.
Why some say the schools are partly to blame. The National takes you deeper into the stories shaping our world. Next. Post-secondary students planning for the fall are facing an out-of-the-classroom challenge. Those soaring rent rates we've been seeing across the country are also hitting university towns. As Nisha Patel shows us, that's forcing some people to make some difficult decisions.
University of Guelph student Alexandra Musser has been hunting for housing for 6 months.
It was so rare to have somebody get back to me, and when they did, it was, sorry, we don't have space for you. Sorry, we don't think you're a good match. Sorry, we're out of your budget. And just getting denied over and over and over again was so stressful and so painful.
There's so much competition, she didn't have much choice, finally settling for this. One room of a house shared with 6 other students. She's paying a hefty $840 a month.
Absolutely disgusting. This water doesn't actually run at all. You can see all the browning and water damage. This is around the entire baseboard of the house. It smells really bad too.
Why did you feel like you had to sign a lease in a place like this?
Because there was no other options. This was my last resort. It was either this or couch surfing for the next year.
Guelph is a university town with some of the steepest rents in the country. The average cost of a 1-bedroom apartment is up 27% in a year. But that's not unique. From Victoria to Calgary, Kingston to Halifax, prices have soared, pushing student housing further out of reach. So what's going on here? We all know there's a housing shortage. There aren't enough affordable apartment units being built, and landlords are raising rents to cover higher mortgage costs. But add a wave of college and university students all needing somewhere to live into these communities across the country, and you've got yourself a perfect storm.
Particularly here.
We tracked down Mike Moffat, an economist who studies housing issues. How would you describe the shortage of student rental housing?
It's an absolute crisis. Colleges and universities across Canada, particularly in southern Ontario, have been increasing their enrollments substantially. But the incentives for them are to bring in as many students as possible. International students pay international tuition, so they tend to be a very profitable group.
And are schools required to kind of build adequate housing?
There's no requirement whatsoever. It's up to them to be sort of responsible, look at what the housing situation is in the community, and keep enrollments at a manageable level.
Here in Waterloo, Ontario, there is some on-campus housing for international students, but for many, it's just too pricey. Rahish Jaria moved here from India about 5 months ago. He came to study web development at Conestoga College.
It was very good news for me. I was very excited to start my new life in here. It's nice, actually.
With nowhere to live, that initial joy quickly turned to despair.
So many students are looking for accommodation, but they are unable to find because of expensive prices.
And what's your budget?
Between $550 and $650.
So these are all out of your price range?
Yeah.
Some of the options within his budget were a tight squeeze.
When I visited the place, it was like 3 people already living in the room, and they want me to fit in there.
And they were all paying $650?
Yeah.
For one room?
Yeah.
Wow. Others were downright disgusting.
Some of places had bed bugs, and you can literally see insects flying through the, kitchen sink.
How do you feel about the search right now?
Very frustrated, actually. I'm very worried. I don't have face, like a sad face, but I am worried inside.
Do you wish that you had known more about it before you came?
Yeah, I wish I had known very much. They never told us the, ground realities, like you won't be able to find an accommodation, what will you do? And
why did you want to talk about this today?
Because someone should. Everyone is just ignoring the things, and they have fear of speaking to the public, actually.
The schools we talked to say they're well aware of the issue
and they're trying to find ways to address housing needs. But students say they desperately need help, and they need help now.
The schools need to look at the enrollment side, but also start to have some supply themselves.
Moffat agrees it's great to welcome more students, but the housing supply has to keep pace.
It's a big, hairy, complicated problem, and it's going to require a lot of coordination and working together.
Who do you think should be taking responsibility for this?
It's really hard when nobody of a higher power is willing to step in and say, hey, you know, these students are suffering. What can we do to help?
So for the next year, Musser will live here, likely working 2 jobs just to pay the rent. Hoping by the time she has to sign her next lease, things will be different.
Nisha, as this problem persists, the number of new students to Canada is still growing.
Ian, we even hit a record last year. More than 500,000 international students flocked to Canada. That's up 75% from just 5 years ago. But housing doesn't seem to be a factor that's directly considered in the planning. And while it's provincial governments that are responsible for regulating schools, it's the federal government that issues the student visas. So a bit of a disconnect, a bit of a muddled mess for an issue that's also spilling over to the broader housing market. Ian, those students who have few options end up competing with other renters, families, even home buyers. And that pushes up prices for everyone.
Thanks, Nisha.
You're welcome.
Just ahead, Canada's Maggie Mac Neil has still got her swagger. The Olympic champ is hoping to make a splash in Paris 2024.
It's always on the horizon. I think the day we finished in Tokyo, John Atkinson from Canada had a countdown to Paris.
A poolside conversation with the champion swimmer.
And look at McNeil go in the middle of the pool. Just over 15 meters left to go. She's hit her stride now. Maggie Mac Neil, 56.54 second.
At the Canadian swimming trials in Toronto, Maggie Mac Neil sent a clear message she's ready for the Paris Games. She has spoken publicly about her struggles after winning Olympic gold in 2021, dealing with anxiety. But now she says she once again loves being back in the pool, and it showed. We spoke between races at the trials about her path to the top of the Olympic podium and what it will take to get back there.
Maggie, thank you very much for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Here they come. There's the touch. He gets gold. Gold for Canada. Maggie Mac Neil in 55.59.
So let's go back to the last Summer Olympics. You won 3 medals, including a gold medal. And I often wonder, like, does that change anything in your life when you become an Olympic champion?
It does, but I think I've really tried to not let it affect me too much. I mean, I was just signing autographs with kids, so I want to be that role model for them, and I hope I'm inspiring them, but I also want to stay close to my roots. And I mean, I was raised to be pretty humble, and just, I love going back home and seeing friends and family, so trying not to let my swimming kind of impact those relationships.
So at that moment when you won gold, so many of us were glued to our TV sets. Ryan Reynolds sent you, I think it was an Instagram message. That must have been pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. And I think it was great to see support from everyone I kind of ever encountered, whether that was teachers or music teachers, kind of the whole spectrum. But it's been great to have their support and Canada's support.
You talked about signing autographs here, and there was a really nice moment where a kid asked for your gold medal here.
I was trying not to hit a kid with a medal as I threw it up in the stand. Luckily there was someone tall to give it to him, but I just want to inspire the next generation, and it's great they're here to support Canadian swimming, and both the men and the women's team are doing fantastic, so it'll be great to see what we can do this summer.
Tell me the Maggie Mac Neil story. First in the pool, when you first knew that you were fast.
Well, I guess going back to the beginning, I got into swimming because my mom, who's a physician, we moved into a house that had a pool, so she was very worried about my sister and I just with water safety, so that's kind of where we started, and I started with mom and taught lessons with her, and I wouldn't be in a sport if it wasn't for her, and she and my dad have been around all the way, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. But I started competing when I was 8, and I think probably the first time I took it seriously and thought, oh, I could go to the Olympics. I mean, everyone wants to go to the Olympics when they're a kid, and I mean, I never kind of thought that would actually happen, probably until I made my first junior national team at 15, and then even more so, I think, at Worlds in 2019. My parents are pretty naive about the sport, and was never about, oh, they made me get up for practice, but it was if I wanted to, or if I was too tired or had an exam, they never pressured me to. So if they were more hard on me, I don't think I would be able to score as long as I am. But I'm just enjoying the ride, and I don't think any of us thought he would get to this point.
You win the gold medal. There's the whirlwind of great things happening, but also you ended up taking a break from swimming. Why?
It was a lot. I think the pressure of the Olympics and kind of coming off that high. I mean, I had accomplished the greatest thing in sport, arguably, for swimming at least.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the last thing I needed to achieve was a world record, which I achieved in December. So at that point, I was struggling to find my why, because there was always a goal that I was reaching for, whether it was a time or Olympic medal, a world record. Being able to do things on my terms and change up and do what I needed to do this year has been really great, and I'm enjoying swimming more than ever, and it's been amazing to come back here and reunite with my Team Canada teammates.
Maggie Mac Neil is surging towards a gold medal, maybe a world record.
You really need to love swimming to be as good as you are at the highest level because of how hard you have to train. What's a day like in terms of the pool and the gym and studying as well?
I'm currently doing my master's, so it's a very busy schedule. I have 5:30 wake-ups in the morning, and I'll train for 2 hours and then go home, hopefully have a nap. I'm a big advocate for napping. Classes kind of throughout the day, but most of my classes have been night classes, so I'll swim again for 2 hours in the afternoon and then 3-hour class in the evening, and their homework and repeat.
Wow.
McNeil right in the hunt. Maggie McNeil certainly is in the hunt.
Being at the Olympics is unimaginable for a lot of people, winning a gold medal even more so. But I kind of feel like what's even tougher than winning a gold medal is to repeat. You must think about Paris a lot.
I mean, it's always on the horizon. I think the day we finished in Tokyo, John Atkinson, some kid, I had a countdown to Paris.
Really?
He was like, we have so many days left. So it's always been there. I think I'm using these meets and NCAAs a couple weeks ago as kind of stepping stones for practicing, like having fun and not worrying about the outcome or having pressure on myself. And I think that's how I felt in Tokyo. I felt like I wasn't really happy with my previous performance, so I went into that final just thinking whatever happens, happens. So I think I need to practice that mindset to hopefully be in it when it's the most challenging race of my career.
If the today Maggie McNeil could talk to the 8-year-old Maggie, what would she say?
I think she'd say you're on a good path, but I was just so focused on getting this goal that I was so focused on school and swimming, and I don't think I'd let myself have as much fun. And I mean, I made sacrifices, but I don't think I'd be at this point if I didn't. But just to let myself know that I was on the right path and that everything will work out in the end.
Well, you will forever be Maggie McNeil, Olympic champion. Really nice speaking with you.
Thanks so much.
As a reigning world champ, Maggie McNeil will be defending her title in Japan this July, the World Aquatic Championships. Her next step to nail down a spot at the Paris Olympics. Still ahead, she's not your typical 12-year-old, but she's more than made the grade for tonight's moment. Plus,
it would have been even more special if we knew back then the history.
The winner of the Canadian Open used to take home a one-of-a-kind trophy. What it means to the previous champs. And with that, a historic victory for tennis superstar Novak Djokovic. His third French Open title is his record-setting 23rd men's Grand Slam title. He's also the first to win all 4 Grand Slams at least 3 times, and the 36-year-old reclaimed the world's #1 ranking.
I feel like after I won the Canadian Amateur as a kid, I thought having the 3 would have been the most unbelievable thing I could ever do. And to have a chance today, especially after my start this week, I'm speechless. This is unbelievable.
We want to take another look at Nick Taylor's spectacular putt, sealing a historic win. His victory, the first by a Canadian at the Canadian Men's Open in 69 years. Taylor earned over $1.5 million plus a trophy, though a much different looking one than the tournament was once famous for. For a couple of decades, Canadian Open winners received soapstone carvings, unique pieces of Inuit art from masters of the craft. As Nick Murray found out, those who won them revere them.
In 1993, South African golfer David Frost tapped in to win the Canadian Open. He took home $180,000 and this soapstone polar bear carving. That was 30 years ago and was the last time Inuit art was ever handed out to the tournament's winner. In 1971, tobacco company Du Maurier came on as the event's title sponsor, and right away it wanted to make a big splash with its own trophy for the winner.
I can't think of any other trophy that exists today that is similar, is that the soapstone carving or the sculpture that sits on top of the base is what the champion would actually take home with them.
Each piece was unique, a one of one, carved from the lands of Canada's Arctic. Little did the players know at the time they were taking home the works of Canada's best carvers, some of whom have their work displayed in the National Art Gallery.
But I think it would have been even more special if we knew back then the history and how it came about, or where it came from, who made it.
And while the significance of their prizes may have been lost on the golfers, the beauty of what they just won was not.
I can't imagine what it would take to carve and polish something like that.
World Golf Hall of Famer Curtis Strange won the Canadian Open in 1985 and again in 1987. His second trophy was carved by renowned artist Sakiasi Regi from Kingite in Nunavut, whose works have been displayed as far as Paris.
It fit the Canadian Open. It fit north of the border for us, and I love it. I think it's spectacular, and it gets a lot of comments. I've got one of them in the house, and it gets a lot of comments every time somebody comes through. It really does.
In 1989, the federal government banned tobacco advertisements in Canada, meaning Du Maurier could no longer be associated with the tournament, effectively ending the tradition of carvings being handed out to the winner. In 1994, the company pulled its support, but not before securing one final carving. That piece was never handed out to a winner and rests at the Canadian Golf Hall of Fame at Glen Abbey in Oakville, Ontario. Nick Murray, CBC News, Iqaluit.
Meet Anthea Grace Patricia Dennis, part of the University of Ottawa's class of 2023, and she is just 12 years old. That makes her the youngest person to get an undergraduate degree in Canada. Anthea Grace completed the biomedical science program, and tonight her incredible accomplishment is our moment.
At 12 years of age, our next graduate is the youngest individual to complete an undergraduate degree at the University of Ottawa, Anthea Grace Patricia Dennis, cum laude.
I've always been really inspired to try and make a difference somehow. So that's how I got interested in biomedical science. I'm very proud of myself as well. And I'm excited for what's going to come next in my academic journey, my academic career. And I'm just really hopeful for what the future will bring. I remember one of the big things was people were unbelieving. They did not believe that a person like me could ever possibly exist, which was strange to me because I always read these articles about kids who were smart and they were going to take university credits. There will always be challenges and there will always be barriers and roadblocks, but there is probably a place, if you're willing to look hard enough, where you can get around that roadblock or that barrier.
So, congratulations, just an unreal academic achievement. Such poise in the interview as well. She doesn't sound like a 12-year-old. She doesn't have the academic credentials, obviously, you associate with a 12-year-old. She's making us all rethink our own academic life. And just in case you're wondering, Doogie Howser got his undergrad degree when he was 10 on his way to medical school, but, fictional. That is The National for Sunday, June 11th. Have a great night.